where horror lies.
Hey guys, Rob from Georgia here with you. I'm your regular Wednesday evening host here at BodyBags. It is week 433. Man, where does the time go? This is the week that we all drop a movie from a particular year, and the year in question is 2004. Happens to be the year that my oldest son Sam was born, which he is about 5 weeks in being our Thursday night reviewer. And we do have a full cast now, which is really nice. At the end of the month, our theme week will bring Lonnie, I think this was Lonnie's, our Saturday host, Love Horror, in which yours truly will be revisiting an old Oliver Stone film, Natural Born Killers. I'm really looking forward to revisiting that. But this week, we're all delving into the year 2004 for something good, I hope. I decided to run with a film never reviewed before on BodyBags, Dawn of the Dead, the Zack Snyder remake, of course, just a few years after 9/11. There's a little bit of subtext in there. It is not quite as deep or I don't know, mind-blowing as George Romero's, but then you can do that. But this is an interesting movie, and it's one that has grown on me over the years. In fact, you see I'm just still running with the DVD. In fact, you see up there, for the longest time, all I ever had was the VHS. And then I happened to be in a FYE, I think, and I saw this for only, I don't know, $6, $7 or something. And I thought, you know, it is definitely time to upgrade at least to a DVD. So I'm not quite up there to the Scream Factory release level yet. In fact, I was looking that up. It is still, you can still get it on Amazon. I forget the price. But I didn't see what the extras were. I'm sure there has to be a Scream Factory. There's got to be extras on there. But as far as this one runs, there is a commentary. It is for a DVD, pretty loaded with a lot of little stuff. Deleted scenes, pretty cool. The one thing I wish were on here, and maybe it's on the Scream Factory, TV spots, radio spots. Well, I don't know if 2004 were running radio spots, but definitely TV spots, trailer would have been nice. Would be nice. But there's definitely commentary. Zack Snyder's on here, deleted scenes, and a bunch of interesting little documentaries that some people get into. I'm more meat and potatoes kind of guy, but the commentary wasn't bad. Anyhow, for those of you who may have never watched Zack Snyder's remake here to George A. Romero's ultimate classic film from '78, well, I'm surprised if there's people that had never seen it. But then again, maybe the loyalists to George A. Romero thought, I don't want to go there. Let me just say, this is pretty freaking good. I still have not seen, and I probably will not see the Day of the Dead remakes that are out there. I don't have time for crap. And if they're not that bad, just drop something down below and let me know. But Zack Snyder's film, man, there's a lot going on. This stars Sarah Polley, Ving Rhames is in here. Jake Weber is freaking awesome as Michael. Mekhi Phifer, he's pretty good. But Ving Rhames is all right. CJ, I'm trying to think of his name. There's a character in here. Steve Burrell, who plays. I forget his stupid name now. But CJ, I'm trying to remember CJ's real name. I can't think of it. He may be my favorite character in the entire arc. Really, it's pretty much the same setup as George's movie, but a little bit different. It's definitely brought up to speed. It's almost sort of like Nightmare City meets Romero's Dawn of the Dead on crack, but not as near as wild as probably the new movie that's coming out, The Sadness, that promises to be a spectacle. This never really pushes too many envelopes, but the zombies are more as you would see in Nightmare City, or of course the latter films, 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, things like that. They're running zombies, right? It's the action is definitely way heightened up more. Situations of peril are definitely heightened up more. It's interesting. So basically what you got here is you got the opening few minutes, and you meet our main character. She's a nurse at a hospital. And she's on her way home. And we meet a little girl there on the street who's roller skating, must be neighbors to them. And she goes on, and Anna goes in. Her husband's in there waiting. I think they both work at the hospital. And so we get it's pretty much a peaceful night that just sort of settles in. But then somewhere in the middle of the night, that little girl that was roller skating ends up in their house. Is really creepy. Ends up in their house. The husband wakes up, is stirred, wakes up, looks out, sees into the hallway and sees her. Now he stays, something's probably wrong with her. So he kind of is, wiping the, whatever out of his eyes. As she draws closer to the light, you could tell, man, she's been turned into a zombie already. But he just thinks something's wrong with her, and he doesn't understand. So he practically leaps out of bed and goes right up to her, and he's just from a I don't know what he does for a living. I know he works for the hospital in some capacity, but it's that situation, right? And but before he can do anything, man, she takes a huge chunk out of his neck, man. Anna wakes up. She throws the girl down the hallway. She slams the door. She tries to get help for her husband. She's trying to get 911, and then her husband quickly dies. Turns. This is not George A. Romero's film, and she's got to very quickly get from that room to the bathroom, and in which case she finally crawls out the window, out into the outside, barely surviving, and she falls into a world that is freaking just chaos. It is one of the better openings I've seen in a movie, where they just sort of quietly lead you in, and then boom, they just drop you into hell. And this community has been, how they slept as long as they did is beyond me, without being woken up by everything happening outside. She's able to escape, and she's not too far down the road. We're seeing chaos everywhere, and because of a guy trying to carjack her, she ends up off the road, crashes. Now here comes your title sequence, which is freaking awesome. You've got Johnny Cash's When the Man Comes Around, which is freaking awesome. Down with the Sickness comes in later on by Disturbed, I think. And you get the freaking awesome title sequence, man. One of the better ones that's out there. And then you come out of that, man, and it's about, Ving Rhames, I think, is the first one that shows up. She lashes on him, and then, they latch on to the other characters. Then they end up at the mall, and then decide to go into the mall. And there, George Romero's movie sort of, kind of lays out there. But it's a little bit different. The subtext here really feels sort of, and I'll just, Brett Gall, I think is his name. He writes reviews you find on IMDb. I generally look at his just to see. I really appreciate his thought process. I think it was him. I could be wrong. He might have been the one who mentioned that this idea may be somewhat like, we just had a spectacular terrorist attack in 01. It's only 04. And we're being told to just go back out and shop, pretend that nothing ever happened. And it's got a kind of a weird, creepy, underlying vibe, which I sort of see. I see where it gets that from. And so I think there are other subtext things going on here that aren't George's subtext. It's a different movie. It's a different time. It's a couple years after 9/11. And so I think there's something interesting here going on, which is interesting. CJ is he's the head of the security detail on the mall. Him and his buddy's been locked up in there. I'm telling you, he's the one character that you cannot stand right from the get-go. But he has a character arc, and by the end of the movie, he makes a choice, a willing choice, that sort of, it is just a really awesome character arc, man. And he's definitely my favorite character in that whole movie. I freaking just love watching him from the beginning to end. You got Ken Foree in here as a televangelist that they're watching, who is, man, gloom and doom. This is the apocalypse, the end of the world, which is so awesome. Tom Savini cameos in this thing. He's a county sheriff, and they're watching highlights off the news. So we see Tom. There's a store named after our main girl from George's movie, which is great. It's loaded with Easter eggs. There's tons of stuff in there. It really, it's Nightmare City on crack in a way. It's really kind of but using George's. And I'll say this too. Well, the plan is to get out. They decide, I don't think they stay in this mall near the fraction of time before they realize they need to get out of here and just take the chances. And the idea is there's a guy who they end up, a group of people they let into the mall, and the guy has a boat at the harbor. And so the plan is makeshift. You remember Dead Reckoning from Land of the Dead, which will come a couple years later? I think that's sort of an idea that carries over. They basically create a couple Dead Reckonings, and the plan is to basically plow through the dead, get to the harbor, and get on this boat and go find an island. That's the plan. The rest of everything is in, and it's a fun ride. It is Zack Snyder. This is a fun ride, and I almost kind of wish Zack Snyder, instead of making Army of the Dead and the next one, I'm not stepping on toes, I would have much rather seen him grab the same cast of characters and do a follow-up to this, and maybe even pay a nod to Fulci's Zombie in a way, because in some of the post-credit or credit scenes, we find that they'll reach an island, but it's inhabited by zombies, man. And we're sort of left with this idea that it doesn't look good, but we don't know for sure. And so it was a sliver of sort of where you could kind of follow it up in a weird way and maybe do a nod to Fulci, which would have been great. If this was a nod to, more than a nod, it's a remake of George's movie, how much greater would follow-up to this be if it's a nod to Fulci's 79 film Zombie? That would have been freaking awesome. But anyways, my time is starting to slip here quick. So anyways, it's a fun ride, man, from 04, man. Definitely the Scream Factory edition is out there. I would definitely check on the price on that. But you can always find something like this, man, at an FYE or something, or even a thrift store, probably, for that matter. And there's that trusty VHS back there. All right, real quick, I wanted to mention this. I just pre-ordered my birthday present from Germany. Early April, The Sadness is coming. If you don't know what The Sadness is, Room Morgue did a cover piece. It's this. I'm telling you, it is becoming one of the more hyped, most anticipated movies possibly of the year that is coming. The only release company so far I see, Raven Banner, I think eventually will release it over here stateside, but Germany is the only one presently with a release that's distributing it. And so you can go on to Amazon Germany or Amazon.de. And it's, I think, to bring it to the States, it was a total of $46 and change American. Obviously you're buying, it's in euro and stuff, but it was like a 13 euro charge on the shipping. But anyways, The Sadness is coming in April. That movie, man, looks to just rock the senses, man. If you've never heard of it, there's a trailer out there. Definitely check out the trailer. But if you haven't seen this one, or it's been a while, definitely go give it a rewatch, man. It's definitely worth it. This movie grows on me, and it does get me a little upset that Tom Savini's remake to Nightmare City has never got off the ground. How is that even freaking possible? Anyways, week 433, it is films from 2004. We celebrate the year my son was born. This is his birth year. And of course, like I said, he is our Thursday evening host. And so definitely check him out if you have not. He's about 5 films in, I think. His review on the Wolfman remake was really good. Really good. Anyways, I don't think there's anything else to say. So I'll leave off, as always, with Go Bills.
This is not a dream. Not a dream.